Hey guys, my name is Patrick Perkins. I'm the owner, creator, and lead photographer for Patrick Perkins Photography LLC. I'll give some information up here so you guys can kind of check it out. This week's been really fun for us. We've had a lot of really good shoots. However, we've had one incident which is a pretty good kick in the rear end for us. It's the second time this has happened to us. It's been by the same person, and I want to give you guys kind of my side of it, since I have been completely banned from commenting, or I can't even get my story out other than my own page. Last year around November, I was contracted, and bear with me because I got to pull up some information first. I was contracted by Roanoke City Police Department in reference to a photo that they wanted to do. They want to do a workup with the vehicles, their officers, something to show, you know, how good they do, and to help recruit other officers. Now, I am a former law enforcement officer myself for Roanoke City, so you know that I was absolutely ecstatic and happy to do that. There's no better way to say thanks for all the time that I had with the Roanoke City Police Department, other than like showing how well they do their job. So I was ecstatic and happy to do it for them. We completed the workup and got all the photos, got everything done. They were super thrilled, super happy, and so happy with their photos that they shared one as the background photo for their Facebook page. And I'll link it here so you guys can see it. They were licensed and had the absolute right to do that. However, they were the only ones licensed to use that artwork. The copyright laws in America are very specific in some things and very kind of gray area in others. However, it's very specific and says that any creator of a photo, music, article, written word, whatever it is, if you've created something, you own copyright immediately. And you are the sole owner of that copyright. And you can say whether somebody can use it, somebody can't. Even if I photo your wedding or your family in a family session, I still retain that copyright. Now, when you agree with me to pay me for your job, I do release that license to you, and you can use your photos however you want. And that's what had happened with, I had released the license for Roanoke Police Department to use their photos any way that they like. When I saw that they shared that as their background page, I was ecstatic. I was super happy. Now, as I tell some of this story, you'll notice that things pop up here next to me, and I'm going to try to keep you as informed as possible. I'm not going to try to hide anything. I'm not going to try to go back and forth. I also would like to say, I am not an attorney. Although I am up to date on certain legal codes, it's more of a law enforcement style part of it, not a litigation style. So don't take anything I say as the Bible verse, but understand that this is a specific case with specific details with my case. You can't use this to go out and think that you can go after anybody. Seek proper legal advice if you have a similar situation. But so it was about November, and they shared the picture. I was really happy. One of my friends actually asked me on their page, "Hey, is this your work?" And I absolutely said, "Yes, it is." I was tickled to death. I loved it. And I love RPD. I love the Roanoke Police Department. They are some of the finest human beings in this world. Shortly after that, a gentleman that I knew of beforehand commented and asked to use the photo. Now nothing is wrong had happened yet. He commented asking me, he linked me in the comment and said, "Patrick, can I use this photo?" He expressed that he was the owner of a page in Roanoke that had 75,000 plus members, and it would be a really good opportunity for me to show my artwork. I know that page. I also know that page is extremely anti-law enforcement at times. They are known to take photos of law enforcement officers from behind and put that information out on Facebook with their following who isn't the most law enforcement friendly. So you can imagine that raises some red flags for me. Like, what if somebody who's gone off a little bit sees where a photo of a police officer is, goes out there, harms a police officer? I don't like the way that police officers are treated on that page. There's been several things of F the police, police need to die, pigs, every other thing you think of. I did not want one of my photos of my police department that I worked for to be represented on a page that is known for anti-police rhetoric. I just did not want to be part of that. I politely responded to him, and I explained to him this was done for a client. I don't feel comfortable giving the client's work out. Unfortunately, I must deny your usage. Nothing was said after that. I thought it was done. I thought he had had my warning, he had had my response, and he was happy with it and went on about his day. Few comments down below, which I'll show this one. It said, Patrick, go ahead, and the young man's name was Patrick, and he said, Patrick, just go ahead and copy the picture, crop out his stuff, and share it, which is a direct violation of the copyright laws. I didn't think much of it. The individual that actually asked me to use the page, that owns the page, who was the administrator for the Checkpoint page, he claims to be a photographer also, so I figured he was up to date on the laws. A couple minutes later, sure as anything, there it went, right up on that page. And I was notified by several people, and thank you guys for what you have done in showing me support, to know that that picture was used. I immediately had a friend of mine that was on the page add me to the page and started to voice my upsetness. I don't even know if that's a word. My anger and my I can't even think of the word now. I'm so worked up about it. But I expressed how I was not happy with having that photo up on the page. Immediately, I sent him a message trying to talk to him, trying to hash it out. And I'll start sharing some of those up here again too, so you can see the conversation. Now, what I want to tell you is that Virginia is a one-party consent state, which basically says if I am part of that conversation, I can talk about the conversation. So there's no legal issue for me talking about what he said to me. I contacted my legal advisory team with the PPA. If you are a member of the PPA, you have certain things provided to you. And the PPA, the Professional Photographers of America, is real big on copyright infringement right now. So they're up to date on all their laws. So I immediately contacted them, and they advised me to issue the individual a cease and desist letter, basically stating that I'm the owner of the photo, I own the copyright, you do not have permission to use it, take it down immediately. And I issued that to him. I sent it straight to him on Facebook Messenger. It took a little while for him to respond. Finally, I saw that he was reading the messages, but he wasn't responding. When I did see that when he did respond to me, he immediately said, somebody else sent me this photo. I thought it was theirs. I will take it down ASAP. Now, that's right here. That's him responding, saying, I will take it down. I've read your cease and desist. I thought it was somebody else's work. I will take it down. At that point, no problem, right? Everything's fine. He followed. It happens. I understand there's things that happen. Take it down. No harm, no foul. However, shortly later on in that message, when he read the language in the letter, which stated he must respond within 30 days and within 30 minutes to remove the photo, he became very agitated. And he began to curse and call me every name in the book, and then ended up blocking me before I could respond. In that, there were several times I would ask him, Patrick, be reasonable, be professional. I'm screenshotting all this. But he did, just blast me. So during that time, I guess he decided not to take the photo down and kept the photo up. And people were saying, why is it that big of a deal? Why do you care that your photo is shared? It's in front of 75,000 people. The problem is, this page is anti-law enforcement. I've been a law enforcement officer my entire adult life. I respect the men and women behind the badge. I do free photos for law enforcement officers. I'm a huge advocate for law enforcement families. This page was not where I wanted my work represented, to where people could just bash me. Not to mention, in the comments, I was called a pig. I was told I was a horrible photographer. I was told that this is an ugly image of an ugly girl. It's a female police officer. People were trashing the police, saying several different... people were just going nuts. If you've seen this page, you know what I mean. So that's where I did not want the photo up there. Not to mention, he asked me once. I told him no, and he still used it. It's just immoral, improper. After going back and forth and realizing I was going to get nowhere with him trying to be civil, I filed a cease and desist letter with Facebook, because they are the authority on their pages. They have absolute rights to your page. They own your page. You don't. They looked into it, saw the issue, and immediately took the photo down, because it was in a direct violation of their policies, which I'll add here. Facebook knows that they are civilly liable if they don't enforce the federal laws on copyright infringement. So it was immediately taken down. I have the email, I have everything involved with that, the lawyers have it. That was back in November. So I thought everything was done. He took it down. Now, he did go onto his page and express that he took it down himself because there was a lot of issues caused. And used the phrases that I was on a high horse and all these other languages and back and forth. Fact of the matter is, he never had permission to use my professional photography on his page that does not represent law enforcement correctly. Not to mention, the back and forth looked bad on me. So I had to pull myself back and really concentrate on running my business and not have, 75,000 people, and some people are anti-cop, and some people now see that I'm a professional photographer. The reviews started coming in on the page. It was basically people saying you're rude, your work is horrible, and that's going on my page. And I don't need it. I don't deserve that just because I was protecting my work. But like I said, that was in 2018, November. I thought it was done. Now I have been a member of that page since, and when people speak about improper law or threatening to kill people and all this other stuff, of course I've spoke up, and many of you have actually read where I've commented and give wonderful legal advice as far as I could for my knowledge and more of the criminality part of it. And I've also given a lot of tips and tricks on how people can make themselves safe. A lot of people have appreciated some of the posts that I put up there. The anti-law enforcement officer people have not. I've caught a lot of flack off of that, but it is what it is. It's Facebook. So on yesterday, Sunday, July the 7th, I got a notification that the checkpoint page had a new photo, and I recognized the photo as the exact same photo that he used prior and Facebook took down, and that he was given a cease and desist letter for. Now, I will step back just a little bit. Now, after all that happened in November, I read up on the laws a little bit better just to make sure I was correct, and I was absolutely correct. But it also gave me some tips and tricks on how to make sure that this didn't happen again, and I went for it. It suggested that I actually file the image with the U.S. Copyright Office. I did. I paid the $55. The photo is titled "See Yourself in Blue" and is 100% filed with the Copyright Office. So this is a copyright violation. He does not have authorization to use that image. So when the image went back up, I immediately commented and said, hey, you do not have permission to use this photo, take it down immediately. Which resulted in my being banned from commenting until the 14th, which is another couple of days. He barred anybody that put anything up. He started banning people from commenting. When people would I drafted a new cease and desist letter, and since I couldn't share it, I asked for my supporters and my friends to share it to that page so that he could see that there was a cease and desist. And it was posted several times, and everybody that posted it or everybody that tried to defend me or support my views were either banned from the page from commenting or completely removed from the page because of it. Now granted, it's his page. That doesn't bother me. Do what you want on your page. Just don't use my work. So I have been back in contact with my legal team at the PPA. They are going to investigate it. Facebook has been served with another cease and desist letter. They are going to investigate it, and it will be taken back down. Now, this isn't a criminal matter. This is a civil matter. This is also a federal code. So local law enforcement is not going to be involved. I don't expect them to be involved. I understand that they have no right to be involved. But this is a federal law, and it is a civilly punishable law by either fines. He's not going to go to jail, and I don't want any money for it. Because he tried to make a $3 fee, which would be somewhere around $150,000 a year he would make from his page. That blew up and went bad for him. So I don't see that he's going to make any money off my photography, but he has no right to use it. So as far as like damages for me, I don't know if I can receive those. I know that in certain situations I can. That's for the lawyers to figure out. But him using it outside of my permission is a direct violation of the federal code. I'll link the code. You can look it up. It's there in black and white. It's very easy to understand if you read it. I have no problem with this young man face to face. I have no issue with him. In 2018, he asked to use my photo, and I said no. And he used it anyway. This year, last Sunday, he used the photo again. After being told by Facebook and everybody else in the world that understands the law that he can't use it. He's done it again. And now, when anybody mentions anything on the checkpoint page, he bans you. So he understands that he's in the wrong. He's doing this out of spite. The problem is, I would imagine it enters into the more gross negligence file, which is probably going to be damages towards him. Now, one of the stipulations of the federal code is he can be charged with up to $150,000 fine. Don't want that. I don't think that's right. I want the picture taken down. But unfortunately, because this is the second time and he's flat out done it just to be spiteful, I'm suing him. And I'm going to pursue every civil litigation that I can. I hate this has happened. It's unreasonable and it shouldn't happen. Those of you that don't understand and don't agree with my viewpoint, it doesn't bother me. I have no ill will towards you. Those of you that do understand why I'm doing this and support me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for believing in me, and thank you for helping me protect something that takes care of me. I live off of this photography business. I pay for my child's uprearing and everything else. I live off of photography. For somebody to steal that from me, it's just not right. You can look up more if you want to. You can look up intellectual property. You can look up the Digital Copyright Act of America, 1970 or something like that. But Google anything you want and read it. Even look up the rules from Facebook. It's all written there. Where he's got himself in trouble is that every photo I take, I put something digitally into that photo, and that's my copyright. It's called metadata, and I'm not getting into the technical part of it, but I file all that information into it. I've got screenshots of where if you see the original image or you have the original image on your computer, you can right-click it, look at properties, and you can see that I hold the copyright. It has my phone number, my address, my email, everything in it. Where he breaks the law is that he screenshot it, which makes a duplicate of my work, and then uploads it to his page. Now, whether he's making money, although he has tried to make money off of it, he is using my work. He has duplicated my work and reshared it. What bothers me the most is that when when it was uploaded to the Roanoke Police Department's page, it was compressed to be able to be on there. I shoot RAW, I shoot in manual mode, so all my images are huge for billboards. So when it was already uploaded to the Facebook page, it had already been compressed. When he screenshots it, it gets compressed again. And when he uploads it, it stretches. And it makes my work look horrible. He's not representing my work the way it's supposed to be represented, the way I want it represented. And I have that right to defend it. I have that right to demand him to take it down. He does not have the right to use my work. I put 25, 30 hours into that photo session. Now, it wasn't just that one photo, but that was a lot of work. Anybody that's ever done long exposures and composition photography know that that's a lot of work that I put into it. That's what I'm going to be seeking. I'm going to seek damages for it. So, once again, sorry I got off on a tangent. Sometimes I get upset. But I want to tell you guys that are supporting me, thank you so much for you taking care of me. Thank you for your support. I will keep you updated as much as possible. This is going to go on my new YouTube channel. And it's also going to go on to my photography page. Once again, thank you guys for what you have done for me and my family. Thank you for supporting me on this. Have a great afternoon. Oh, and if you need pictures, hit me up. There's my number.